This is Alane Freund. I'm an international consultant on high sensitivity, and I'm out in Oklahoma on my parents' little ranch here where our horses live. We've been working today, burning brush from the ice storms. Maybe you saw some videos I posted on social media. Some of them are kind of funny, but we did try to set the pasture on fire. The fire is all under control and smoldering now, and I'm out here on fire watch. So I thought I'd answer a couple questions as I'm doing in December. This question comes from a mom of a 12-year-old highly sensitive boy, HSB. And she wrote in and asked if I was doing any groups for sensitive tweens. And she's really concerned about her son being lonely, isolated, not having peers that he relates to. And we had a long conversation about it, and I told her I would also make a video. So here's the question. What do I do to help my 12-year-old sensitive tween, especially this one's a boy, not be isolated? How do I help him make social connections and have friends and live a normal teenage life? There is no such thing as a normal teenage life for a highly sensitive person or a highly sensitive teen. The truth of the matter is the teen years they're not really friendly years. In fact, we can see that adolescents who are highly sensitive might look less sensitive for a while. They'll kind of tuck it in, bring it down, dial it back. Or they might become more depressed or anxious. But in general, if you think, imagine this is what I said. Imagine this. I have 12-year-olds, 12 and 13-year-olds, 5 or 6 of them on Zoom, no less, on video, having a group. Can you imagine the conversation? If you're really optimistic and out of touch, you maybe can. But what would really happen is if they were just there because their parents wanted them to make friends, it would be like this. It's just not a good mix. Here's the thing. Kids are on screens way too much, always, but especially now that many of them are schooling on screens. Sensitive young people don't do a great job of connecting with each other unless it's around a topic that they relate to and that they enjoy. So if you have a highly sensitive young person, where do you when we talk to adults about being highly sensitive, we say, where do you find other highly sensitive people? You go to the symphony or the ballet or the poetry reading or the folk music concert or the violin concerto. You go on hikes and you join the Sierra Club. Where else? Let's think. Quiet cafes. You sit in a cafe with your book and read and see who else is doing that. You go to events or parties and you find who's out on the back porch, getting a little quiet space or involved in a deep conversation. We always also say, like at networking events, you might look for other people who are hanging on the fringe to find other introverts or sensitive people. So same is true for young people. What does a highly sensitive 12-year-old boy love to do? Well, there are as many different ways to be sensitive as there are sensitive 12-year-old boys. So, and that's a lot, let me tell you. So maybe it is something techie. Maybe they are intensely interested in their skateboard. Or maybe they are very interested in art or drawing or making cartoons or writing stories. My sensitive boy, when he was still a boy, was really into his bicycle. He liked to spend a lot of time alone on his bike, or, this is the key, with his adult friends. Adults are the best social connections for highly sensitive young people. The problem with young people growing up as highly sensitive is that they are both younger and older than their age, but very rarely are they actually 12 when they're chronologically 12. There are a few ways I'd say you can think about your sensitive child. First of all, your sensitive teenager, once they hit double digits, think of them as 10 years younger than their age. So the 12-year-old, when they're overstimulated, exhausted, upset, frustrated, overwhelmed, then they might be basically 2. And your 15-year-old might be basically 5 and need that level of support and maybe that level of guidance / discipline / I don't know what. whatever you did that was effective with your child when they were 5, 2, 7, 8, 9. And then you can also think of them as adding on 20 years. So, or 30 years. These are really astute young people. So that swing between 32 or 42 and 2 that the 12-year-old experiences, that is very challenging. It's not a great place to be socially. And think about 80% probably of the other children, the other boys and girls in his class are not, or in his social circle, are not highly sensitive. And it's good to make connections and have structured activities with peers who are both highly sensitive and not highly sensitive. But mom, dad, you can't make friends for them. Here's how you can help them socially. Here's how you can find connections for them. How about this? Find some excuse, some reason to hire a high school junior or senior or a college student as a tutor. Because someone who's passionate about the same subject that your child is passionate about will be a great connection. And, usually kids, young adults, and teens who tutor are usually more on the nerdy side, right? So they're going to be better people to connect with your sensitive young people. At the same time, if they have a sport, your young people, get them a tutor in the sport. Maybe it's a grandparent or an uncle, or maybe it's the guy down the street whose kid really loves that sport as well. Hire somebody or ask for someone to help you. Beg, borrow, and steal a grandparent from down the street if the grandparents don't live nearby. But find someone, adults, to make meaningful relationships with your children that are not yours. They're not you, other adults who are not you, but ones that you can kind of say what your goals are, what you hope, that you hope your child will have someone to talk to and make a connection with. This is just absolutely phenomenal. I think also it's really important that one parent take one young person, one highly sensitive person, on a weekend, but also out to lunch or dinner. I don't know what it is, whatever it is that your family or that your young person would like, to take them out, just special, mom and son time or dad and son time. Just really find those things that are more adult that you can do with them. It gives the other parent, if you have two parents in your family, it gives the other parent time to have special time with the other child or children if you have more than one. So we want to help our young, highly sensitive teens and tweens grow up to be, and go through their teen years as modeling how to be an adult, because that's what they're really interested in. And I would say, if in certain activities, maybe they go to rock climbing class and they make a nice connection there. Maybe they find someone at summer camp who spends all their times in arts and crafts class. Maybe I'll tell you just a few things that we did with my son when he was that age. He went to more academic camps, like, I don't know, physics camp in 5th grade, and great books literature camp in before 8th and 9th grade. Those camps were where he found his people and made meaningful connections. Did they maintain those connections after camp was over? Not necessarily. However, we also sent him to orchestra camp because he played violin and he hated it. So, I'm not saying, I don't know what will work for your child, but making those connections when they find their people will build their self-esteem. But what we're really talking about here is resiliency. We want to build resiliency in our young people. And remember, what is good for highly sensitive people and highly sensitive youth is good for all people. So we want this for all young teens and teens. However, for highly sensitive people, I think it's so important. So some of the ways to build resiliency in your young people, one is to know others like you, just like the 5 to Thrive for highly sensitive people. Find people for them to meet, for them to connect with, who are like them, who share their passions, whether they're sensitive or not. What if your family has divorce and it has divorced parents? Your child should know other families who are divorced, and so that they don't feel like they're the weirdo, So being highly sensitive, if you parents are highly sensitive or other people are highly sensitive, or you run across a border collie who's highly sensitive, then really point it out and show them how their nervous system, their finely tuned nervous system, is working for them, and draw parallels. Another way to help our young people be resilient and develop resiliency is that they have meaningful connections with adults who are not their parents. So I know you can find those people out there. There's nothing more important. Young adults, adults the parents' age, and older adults, all so valuable, those relationships. So I hope that you will let go of trying to improve your child's social life and set up, you know, science experiments basically, where they have connections. Oh, one other way to make connections with adults, they need a job and a community service project. So even if at this point it's just making dinner for the elderly couple who live down the street once a week, or maybe it's making art and selling it on their Etsy store, whatever it is, find meaningful work for your sensitive kids. It will ennoble them and make them much happier people. Banjo and I say goodbye for now. I hope you'll subscribe if you see this on YouTube, or come and join Are You Highly Sensitive Live. Follow me on Facebook or wherever you see me. I look forward to seeing you there. Alane Freund, out.